So I think we might be seeing Sukuna's death in this chapter, and I think I said that in the previous chapter too, but like for real this time, because at the end he's getting hit by Angel's curse technique, maximum output Jacob's ladder, which apparently has the effect to strip Sukuna from Megumi, like split their souls and essentially kill Sukuna in the process as well. And I'll get more into that because a lot more happens in this chapter, of course. So coming off the previous one, we saw that Yuta inside of Gojo's body fired off a hollow technique purple with the assistance of Inumaki's cursed speech through a tape recorder, freezing Sukuna in place. And that was like the cliffhanger, and we're seeing that no, it didn't kill Sukuna. It kind of hurt him, I guess, but it did more damage to Yuta because it destroyed his infinite void domain barrier. Now that's eventually going to help the team here, but it just makes it seem like it was all for naught because of what happens after this. Because once they regroup, suddenly Yuta just collapses on the ground. And that's because after you use a domain expansion, you're unable to use your regular curse technique for like a little bit. And you'd think, oh, well, it's just going to take away his limitless since he is in Gojo's body. But no, it actually takes away Kenjaku's curse technique, the brain-hopping body-possessing ability that he copied. So now the body is just useless. But the brain of Akotsu is still alive inside of him. Like, he's thinking to himself. And he's like, yeah, Rika didn't come along, so I thought that the copy technique was no longer mine. Because we did see Rika back at presumably Jujutsu High or something, holding Akotsu's body, crying. So Rika's still a thing, but she just didn't come here. And it makes me think like, okay, so Akotsu is still alive somehow. So does that mean that once his curse technique isn't burned down anymore, then he's going to come back and beat Gojo again? Because also we had the whole ticking clock of Kenjaku's curse technique only working for 5 minutes. And it's like, does that mean that he was going to die after that? Or was he just going to take over Gojo's body forever? Still a lot of unanswered questions, but I assume that something is going to work out here since Akotsu is still like alive inside of Gojo's body here. But Todo, noticing that Akotsu passed out, gets distracted, and he just gets black flashed by Sukuna here. And when Sukuna hits him with it, he also breaks part of his Vibra Slap, like the ball part. So now he, can't use it, or presumably can't use it, because apparently he still can, despite it being broken. He just slams it on his forehead, and he's still able to teleport Yuji and get a clean hit on Sukuna. Now, also in this sequence, which is pretty cool, Todo is actually targeting the broken fragments of Akotsu's domain expansion barrier. But first, let's talk about the Oskang wallet, because it's this really cool slim wallet that connects magnetically and has a bunch of space for your cards and IDs or whatever else, along with a money clip, and it has this really cool trigger mechanism that pops your cards up. And also it's RFID blocking for your security, but maybe the best feature is its built-in locator, which can be connected to the Find My app with iPhone or iPad. All you have to do is tap the button and it'll easily connect, as well as play a sound if you're looking for it, so you'll never lose your wallet again. With a battery life of 5 years, so there's no need for charging. So guys, if you want to get your very own Oskang wallet for you or a loved one, because it makes a great gift, check the link in the description. Thanks, guys. Because, we see that when it gets destroyed or when it dissipates or whatever, it kind of mimics like broken glass. So all of those little shards, which are apparently tangible things, they're not just like intangible cursed energy or whatever, can be swapped out with whatever Todo wants using the Boogie Woogie technique. So he has thousands of these shards, so he can just keep swapping Yuji with them while he's like landing all of these blows on Sukuna, which we see happen. Then after softening Sukuna up enough, Yuji then hits him right like in the kidney section with a cleave. Except this isn't a normal cleave. Yuji's able to target the barrier between Sukuna and Megumi's soul with this. And this just completely wrecks Sukuna. More than anything we've seen so far, I guess. Actually, since he got hit by Jacob's ladder the first time, really. But Sukuna figures out that through a binding vow to limit Cleave's target for Yuji, he's able to cut the soul with it. apparently better than the punches that he was landing on Sukuna before. So this is crazy, and I guess Sukuna could probably do this too, but I guess he's never really needed a reason to. We've always just seen him cleave like tangible things. But now Yuji's just targeting that barrier between the soul, which is obviously like the best play here because he's trying to free Megumi. He actually keeps saying that in this sequence. He's like, as many times as I have to, wake up, Fushiguro. Because, you know, he got to him before, but he was super emo, and he was like, nah, I don't want to play anymore. So he's going to just keep doing it until Megumi wants to wake up and come out. But this messes up Sukuna so bad that he just starts throwing up fingers. And it's like, whoa, I didn't know that this was a thing. So this posits that, like, when you consume a Sukuna finger, it's always kind of just chilling in your stomach and you never digest it, which I guess was plausible before, but does that mean that Yuji just had, like, an undigested Sukuna finger in his stomach all that time? And it's like, if that is also the case, then Rika technically should still have a Sukuna finger inside of her, right? Because she apparently ate a finger so that Akotsu could learn cleave. And it was stated by Gojo way early on in the series that you can't destroy these things. So if that is the case and Rika does have a finger inside of her still, then I guess it could come back into play later. But maybe not, because this actually legitimately might be the end for Sukuna. And at the end of the video, I'll also go into Gege's comments on the possible ending of this series, which we may or may not be in currently. But anyway, back to Yuji, you know, messing up Sukuna here, spitting up those fingers. About time that the good guys use binding vows here. I mean, we know that Todo used a binding vow to expand the target range of Boogie Woogie, which actually allows him to warp in Angel at the end here. But, you know, these guys should be using these more, because we've seen that Sukuna has used like a dozen of them, all to get to this point, you know, using them like a game. Because that's essentially what Jujutsu is, I guess. So it's like, yeah, you know, the MC should be using these to his advantage. But Sukuna swallows the fingers again, and I guess he goes back to full power. That sequence very reminiscent of when Super Saiyan 2 Gohan like punches Perfect Cell in the stomach and he like throws up 18. But after they exchange some more, we come to like this standoff where Sukuna is expecting Todo to like Boogie Woogie swap Yuji again. And he's like anticipating it as the debris is falling from the domain expansion. But then suddenly Hana gets swapped in. Or should I say Angel. Hana in Angel's body. Above Sukuna. And he did not expect this at all because, you know, Angel has been MIA for the longest time since she got like bitten by Sukuna way back when he first possessed Megumi. And she was kind of just chilling with everyone up until that point. And we see this flashback quickly where she is talking to Akotsu, and it essentially gets to the point of it's like, hey, you know, you don't have to fight, but man, it would be pretty cool if you did because, you know, your technique is so powerful. And that's exactly what happens here. She gets swapped in, and above Sukuna hits him with the maximum output Jacob's ladder. And that is the ending of the chapter. So normally, Angel's curse technique, I think is called technique extinguishment, where it just, you know, as it says, extinguishes curse techniques and essentially kills you in the process. But then there's like an extension of it, which is the maximum output Jacob's ladder, which is what she's hit Sukuna with twice now. First time she hit Sukuna with it, it like really wrecked him. He actually had to like act like he became Megumi to trick Angel enough so that she wouldn't hit him with it again. And then that's when he bit her arm off. But this is one of the most powerful things in the series for sure. And going more into it, it says that apparently any curse bathed in the light of Jacob's ladder will be extinguished without prejudice, including special grade cursed objects, such as Sukuna's finger apparently. So this might be the only thing that can destroy a Sukuna finger. So if she does this, then she could just destroy all of the fingers, and also in the process separate Sukuna's soul from Megumi's, and in theory it would just be Megumi's body left, you know, not killed. So, I mean, that could happen here. This could be the end of Sukuna, especially since Yuji did his part, but you'd think that Yuji would have to have, like, the final, you know, part in this. Like, it can't just be Angel that defeats him. You know, Yuji is the MC, so you just think, oh, he has to have the last hit here. He has to do the thing that fully separates Megumi from Sukuna. And that might happen. Maybe he comes in at the last second. But let me go into why I think this could very likely be the end of Sukuna here, and it's because of what Gege apparently said at the art exhibit that they are having right now in Shibuya. He had like these Q&A little questions there that you can go up and read yourself. And one of the questions was, so as you approach the turning point that is the Culling Game arc, did you roughly have a concept of what it would be like? And then Gege said, I thought of it as a crutch for taking us towards the inhumane Makyo Shinjuku arc, which is what we're in right now with the whole Sukuna fight. And then in parentheses it says, final section / saga. I had already decided on things that had to happen, like the characters and colony stuff, but I kept each colony segment contained to be its own individual volume. So the whole big uproar that we got in the community was him saying, in parenthesis, final section / saga. So Lightning Claire on Twitter, who's one of the best Jujutsu Kaisen translators, said that in the image there's kanji which could mean section saga, and that Translation Kun also said that it means more arc than chapter, and album means most likely music album, not photo album. So it's not exactly clear if this means that after Sukuna is defeated that the series is over, but I do think that this little part that we're in is for sure the end, or it's leading us to the end. Also, I feel if we had under 5 chapters left or whatever, Gege would have made an announcement now, since Horikoshi, the author of My Hero, he at least told us when there would be 5 chapters left in the series. So whether Sukuna is defeated here or not, we still have to deal with the merger in some way, because he did eat the whole Tengen cursed womb thing. So unless that just goes nowhere, it would kind of be anticlimactic. So either the merger goes through or it doesn't. It just still needs to be addressed in some way. I guess that could just be one chapter in itself. But anyway, I guess you could just draw your own conclusion from this. But it seems like this could very likely be the end of Sukuna. But let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. And if you liked the video, please give it a like. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.